Welcome back to DX Explorer for one more video. Today's video was not very planned. It's a promised video. A couple of people requested it and they were asking about my wooden straight CW key or Morse key, and here we are. Unfortunately, I used to have a video about how I built this key on the first DX Explorer YouTube channel, the one that I deleted by mistake. And anyway, I tried to recover that video from my old hard drive, but sadly there's no chance of doing that, so I decided to show it to you for a little bit and take it apart as much as I can and explain you how I built it. And actually, I'm planning to build another one, and for that I'm going to use a very simple this is a chopping board, and the wood for this one is perfect. I just wanted to build a smaller key so I can use for portable, and actually that will become also my main key. The design will be just a little bit different, very similar to this one, just a little bit smaller and different connections on the back, and I'll explain later on why and what are the ideas that I have. But anyway, this key will actually go to one of the people that I'm watching very much on YouTube, Peter Parker, and yeah, that's because every time I'm watching these videos I get very annoyed of the Morse key that he's using, and sorry Peter. Yeah, the thing is that I really appreciate his videos, and I've learned a lot in time by watching his videos, so yeah, I thought I should try to give him a little present, and yeah, I'll mail him this wooden key. It was built 2 years ago, I think, maybe 3 years ago, while I was in Italy at my sister's place, and it's entirely built out of scrap wood. I've used some wood from some old pallets, and yeah, this is what I came up with. So as you can see, it's a very basic and very simple design. I have one base from wood and two sides that are glued to the main part and also screwed with some wooden screws, just to make sure they stay in place and they're not moving around. The arm, it's I made it a little bit fancy just to have a nice design, but you don't have to do it like this exactly. And for adjustments, I have a front screw and a back one. This one, it's adjusting the distance in the front of the contact, and the second one it's what you would have in a normal key to adjust the coil, sorry, the spring. In here I'm using a magnet, so basically I'm adjusting the distance between the magnets, the bottom one and also the top one. I'll show you in a little bit. Now anyway, these two sides that I've made, they have some grummets, both on the exterior and also on the interior. On the interior, I don't know if you can see very well, I've also added some brass washers just to help the friction between the moving arm and the fixed parts. And basically in here I've added a contact also from brass. If you're wondering how I got those, it's, if you know, in the furniture you have those things that you can screw into place and put shelves on. That's exactly what they are, only that this one, it's smaller. I couldn't find one that it was the same as this one at that time, and basically with a screwdriver I've made a a space that I can run a cable through all the way to the middle of the moving arm, and I just glue it in place, and then I varnished over, and pretty much that's everything that it is. On the front adjustment screw, I've glued with some white glue because I didn't have anything else, 2 magnets on top of each other, tiny magnets. Now, I don't know if you can see, but here on the bottom I've also drilled a little hole, and I've glued 2 more magnets in there. I used 2 of them for each side just because I wanted the magnet to be a little bit stronger. You can also use 1 or maybe a bigger one, but that's all I had. And yeah, then the wire from the, I don't know, this light doesn't help me. The wire from the moving arm, it's going through the middle, through a hole on the bottom side, and then from here it's going to one of the contacts on the back of the key. Here there's another hole that goes all over over in the other side, and there's another wire running to the other side of the other contact. Here in the front, basically I just put the wire up, and I screwed 1 more of these in place, making sure it's making a good contact with the wire. And once I did this, I just checked the connections here in the back to make sure I have a connection, and basically that's it. Nothing else. Now all I did was just to varnish it, varnish the wood a little bit, and well, I think I gave it a little bit of color, as the wood was not very pleasant. As I told you, it was very old wood, but yeah, it's very simple. I've added some I think they're foam pads, just so I have the key sitting on the table in a very nice way. And yeah, that's all that it is. Here you can actually let me see. You can see the magnet. Wait. You can see the magnet pushing up. So yeah, I have a lot of power. I don't need to use a spring, which I really like. And yeah, basically in the center here, the only hard part for me, the only hard part was actually to drill a straight hole through the pieces of wood, and make sure I go on the other side perfectly straight as well. So basically I've put I drilled 1 hole into the first piece of wood, and then I drilled an identical hole in this piece of wood, and then, as you can see, I made a mistake, and I've put the moving arm a little bit too high at first, and then I ended up drilling a second hole just to, no, actually I put it too low at first, and then I drilled the second hole to keep it a little bit higher. But yeah, I just wanted to have the same distance on top, so it looks nice. And here in the back I just have some washers. Let me see, 2 washers for each side, and then I found some nice brass pieces that I can screw on top, and these are the contacts. Here I'm actually placing the wires that are going then to the transmitter or transceiver or whatever you are using. It's a beautiful key. I spent a couple of days working on it, not all day long, a couple of hours each day, because I had to wait a lot of time for the glue to settle in, and also for the varnish to dry. But anyway, I'm gonna put it back together and prepare it for Peter. But yeah, this is a very nice wooden key. now and then, maybe probably a couple of once a month or a couple of times a year, I just get a piece of paper and I run it through the between the contacts. Basically, I just put the paper like this, and I'm sorry, and I'm cleaning up the contacts. But that's all I need, just a piece of paper, nothing else. And to adjust the distance, well, you adjust it as you please. Unfortunately, I couldn't find some screws with some nice heads that I could actually use them with my hand or with a screwdriver, but probably I'm going to replace them before I'm sending them to Peter with some screws with a head, just so he can do the adjustments easier. I'm actually using a pair of pliers, and that's what I'm using to adjust them. But anyway, once you adjust it, then you don't have any issues, and you don't have to keep adjusting it all the time. So it's not like you're having issues on that. One more thing that I will do into the new key, and I didn't do in this one, just because I didn't have the proper tools to actually make a nice hole in here. But what I want to do is to add an audio jack, a stereo audio jack, and the cable that I'm using is from an old mouse actually, where I have more wires, but you can actually use a simple stereo audio cable, which has the ground and left and right, and I want to use that because the cable, I want to have two jack connectors on each end. One is going to go to the transceiver, and the other one is going to come to the key. This way, when I'm packing up stuff, I don't have to have a key with a bunch of cables moving around, and I can pack the cables separately. And also the reason for doing that is because I can use the same cable for both a straight key and also a paddle key, which I will build later on as well. Have an amazing week. 73. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and don't forget to go visit the new blog or website that I will soon start posting articles on, and I hope you like them. So yeah, 73, and I'll see you real soon.